May join us. That's Councilor the deaf guy, right? We have attachments, we can go over this.
Is Neil coming,
I
Gina?
was not told that he would not be here, so as far as I know, yes.
They get here when they get here, if they get here.
Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you so much. It's 2:01. Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Infrastructure Advisory Board. Today is Monday, May 4, 2026. And with that, I will ask to call the roll.
Ms. Maxwell,
Here.
Mr. Partington,
Here.
Mr. Angeli,
Here.
Mr. Grasky, Mr. Walters,
Here.
Mr. Zeltman,
Here.
Mr. Barnett,
Here.
Ms. Wade, Ms. Sharkey, Ms. Mamano. You have a quorum.
Thank you. First agenda item is approval of the agenda.
Second.
Moved by Roosevelt, second by Peter. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, agenda has been approved. Next item, approval of the previous meeting minutes from April 6th from last month.
Move to approve the minute from April 6th for the purpose of discussion.
Second.
Okay, open to discussion.
My discussion is to ensure that throughout the minutes, our name is the same. And sometimes in the minutes, it says committee, other times it says board, and it need to be consistent. So I don't think it'll be two different bodies.
Any particular page, Roosevelt, that you're referring to?
It's throughout the minutes. It was throughout last minutes too. And I figure it took us a couple of weeks for everybody to get used to the board instead of minutes. And if no other than that, then I move the approval of all the changes.
I do see the last names in the minutes, and when it's a paragraph and the minutes refer to she, he, means to that person that it's in the paragraph.
No, Roosevelt's talking about we were an advisory committee, now we're a board. And
Oh.
the minutes swap
Minutes
back
throughout.
and forward between calling us a board and a committee.
It is? Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's probably some technical
It is.
transition.
So do we need a motion to ensure consistency for that?
And she not here either. Who taking a minute?
Do we see in this particular minutes from April 6th, do we see on any page inconsistency?
Find you one real quick, let me see. I think I counted like 8 different ones the other night.
So could we, Roosevelt, could we move a motion, minutes be approved as written, subject to everywhere the word committee is written, associated with infrastructure, is replaced with board?
No.
Okay.
The reason being, because they talk about other boards. And in that case, it said this committee and other committees meeting to discuss that letter that Maryland sent in. So if you do minutes, then you turn that committee into a board.
Well, I'm talking specifically about the last minute.
Yeah.
We just said, approved as written, subject to everywhere the word infrastructure committee appears, replace that with infrastructure board.
We had it refer to this board. You would have to do it so that we don't change the name of somebody else.
Well, I don't see, obviously the minutes were distributed last week. I checked them with the staff, I don't see any inconsistency and looks like it's hard right now to point it out.
I got mine 2 days ago, I think.
We are approving the minutes only,
That,
but we have to
do it that way, then if anybody else.
Okay, we
feel
can
they
obviously
get
ask staff for the next month minutes to kind of.
Which way?
the way you said, if-
Make a motion.
yes.
So I make a
Okay.
motion to approve the minutes as written, subject to the, those minutes being checked and where the words, or the word is infrastructure committee be replaced with infrastructure board.
I second.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And oppose? Hearing none, okay, minutes been approved since. Thank you. And for the record, I wanna make sure that Shane Krapski, it's being recorded, he's present, thank you. All right, next agenda item, old business. Any old business in the members' mind that needs to be discussed? Hearing none, good. We're gonna move quickly to the new business. And a new business that we need to discuss related to infrastructure. That we wanna discuss. Before we go to the general discussion, I wanna remind you the last item is a general discussion from committee members, not the committee, I'm sorry, board members. Here we have one, Roosevelt.
We probably created.
We find one. So I'm hearing none, nothing on the new business. Then I would like to move to the next agenda item, Public Works Department updates on the asset management.
Yeah, so based on the discussion that we had last month, I believe there were some unanswered questions, so we have our city works administrator who's gonna give us a little overview, more in depth, and be here to ask you to answer any questions that you guys may have. So with that, Craig?
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
Do you mind if I stand up here just a little bit?
Of course.
I don't wanna be behind you. I don't know how to do this, it'll go easy, but my name is Craig Barrett, I'm the City Works Administrator for Public Works Engineering. And thank you for the opportunity to present City Works as it relates to the Enterprise Asset Management System. Do I get the,
We have to ask them, I think, to move it on.
how do we,
Yes, the mouse right there.
mouse right here, okay.
Yeah.
All right, the first thing, work.
It works.
They expect a lot, all that to work.
It's a late mouse.
Let's get the arrow.
All right, the first thing I wanna cover is the overview of City Works. We're gonna go over implementation progress, operational improvements, and future direction of the City Works program. So at the end of the presentation, hopefully you'll have an idea of where we've been, what we've done, and where we're going. Can somebody hit next? I don't think this is working.
If you scroll, toggle that. There's a little arrow, a little arrow.
But this isn't working, the mouse isn't actually working.
Maybe the keyboard.
Keyboard? Keyboard?
The arrow, maybe.
Keyboard? Okay.
Is it
Negative.
Howard?
Yeah, that's on. Yeah.
Okay.
That's on. This is on. There's this mouse. Oh, there's no mouse right here. Let me- That's the one right there, okay, thank you, appreciate it. Somebody put a decoy mouse up there. Alright, so, moving right along, what is CityWorks? CityWorks is a GIS-centric GIS-centric enterprise asset management system. It connects to our GIS asset data. Thank you. So our staff can see where assets are located, what work has been completed, and where issues are occurring. It also coordinates how work is assigned and tracked and closed between teams. so we can streamline the operation and collaboration between teams. It allows us also to monitor preventative maintenance activities, excuse me, in order to reduce reactive work and make more informed decisions. So overall, CityWorks provides a stronger foundation for asset management accountability and long-term infrastructure planning.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Do you want us to ask questions as we go?
You
or
can jump in
we-
anytime you like, yeah.
And an item that you just covered, how is your integration of AI
AI.
in working with all the things that you're trying to do?
We're actually upgrading our system to, we're using right now, we're using Trimble CityWorks Respond. We're upgrading to Trimble Unity, which includes an AI component. So basically you can prompt the data instead of having to look up the data. You can say, hey, where are our top 5 work orders occurring? And it'll actually do that for you. So AI is something that we're going to get into. It's not a part of the program right now.
And we have someone, persons that we're gonna keep close monitoring. I don't like AI,
You don't like AI?
no, I think it's
I'm indifferent. I'm kind of on the fence with it right now, but there's a lot of things good, there's some bad things.
I just wanna make sure that it's not like a few of our other programs, city and county and state, that's, it's part of the system, but nobody is monitoring it, make sure that it's accurate.
It's not like Skynet. It's not like gonna be like the old.
Okay.
No, there's always gonna be a me. There's always gonna be a data custodian. And it's kind of what I like to consider myself. I don't just work on CityWorks 9 to 5. It's 24 hours a day. You know, there's always something that happens. I'm always monitoring on the weekends,
I appreciate you.
to my family's dismay. Sometimes I'm nose deep into it a bit more than I should be, but I love where it's going, and I'm kind of married to it at this point. So
So if
yeah,
I can
there's always
follow up, can I follow up on that question
Yeah.
of Roosevelt's? So those names you mentioned that are gonna be integrated into it. That AI system, as you characterised it, is coming from where? Dreamed up by the people who devised the software that runs CityWorks, or grafted on from Elon Musk's Grok, for example, something like that.
I'm not sure what, I'll have to look into that. I'm not exactly sure what platform they're using for their AI. If they're piggybacking on a different platform or if they're creating their own. I know CityWorks has a lot of proprietary information that they could feed it to train their own AI. So I would lean towards the fact that they're creating their own AI in-house, not using the big 3 or the big 2. How many are there? There's like Rock, there's.
Infinite, I think. Depends
So,
who you talk to.
Yes.
So I think they're gonna use proprietary AI that they developed on their own.
But all of CityWorks is private to authorized people, correct?
Yes,
You can't search any element of it.
publicly.
Well, what AI does is, if you ask it a question, it searches all the stuff it can find anywhere on the internet and then kind of like summarizes it and attempts to draw conclusions. So AI, you know, the big programs, if you like, you're not gonna be able to search this because it's not available. And I'm not arguing that necessarily that it should be. But you know, that's the power of it, that it would look at something like this and then search all sorts of other places and say, is the fact that, I don't know, 40% of force mains are under capacity, is that consistent with the rest of the country or something like that? Would be the sort of question. So it goes to several places for its source. So, you know, you have to think about, I'm actually a big fan of AI, and I feel like it's gonna have a lot of uses. Well, I'm not arguing that you
I do a bit of
open any of this up to the public, but I'm suggesting you don't get the full benefit of AI unless the AI that is integrated with this is able to do some of what you got. AIs can
And I
do.
agree, I think AI should be tempered with a little bit of human interaction, and you need to vet what you get. But I think, for me, I use it for programming sometimes, SQL, Python programming that goes hand in hand with CityWorks. There's some things you need to do behind the scenes in the back end, and it's really incredible what you can do. I used to write programs, and I know how hard it is. Now you can create one within minutes to do things that are just mind-blowing. And the first time I did it, I created a program and I fed it into AI. And it went from this to this, did the same thing, it was better, and commented out. So, am I a fan? I think I am in some cases. I think you have to vet it. I think you need to strongly, if you're gonna create something with it, you just don't copy paste and accept and send. You need to, so I'm old school like that also. I love technology, but I think it needs to be, there needs to be a firewall.
So Craig, my name's Greg Barnett, and I've been involved in large data set creation for other corporations. So my main focus here is not AI. I know that's the next step probably, right? But I wanna make sure, last time we had this presented to us, the database had been created, we were feeding a lot of data sets into it. I wanna make sure now that we're operationally using this data and that it's worked, you know, it would start with, do we have executive leadership mandates that this is our enterprise data, that we all use it, we make our decisions based on it. And then the second question we would have is, do we feel our engineers have confidence in this data and can they make their own decisions based on this information?
We create the data sets, the schema with the engineers. So the engineers are hand in hand when we do create the data set. So the data set is created with their help. So and you know, there's a lot of fields and whatnot that go into that data, sometimes more than what you need. So they do have confidence in it where they are hand in hand to create it. First part was, is it operational and
Is it top, executive
executive?
to make it an operational data?
Before you answer that question, I would suggest to go through the
I'm
presentation.
sorry.
No, it's
There
okay.
is some good slides in it, so I let you speak about CityWorks right now.
Alright,
And
so-
then we summarize at the end.
Okay, yeah, I've got questions.
So we know what is a CityWorks already. I think we learned that, right?
Yeah, the CityWorks, and I'm not presenting a training on CityWorks, it's a broad overview right now. I wish I had more time to give you, and if you do want a presentation on CityWorks, I do quarterly trainings, and I can do a special training if you need training. I could put one together and give you an overview of CityWorks, but it's boring. I've done it so many times. But if you'd like that, let me know, I can do that. The next slide, but that was back to where I started. That was a little rundown of CityWorks. Overall, CityWorks provides a stronger foundation for asset management. Kind of accountability is a big thing, visibility, accountability, long-term infrastructure planning. Those are big with CityWorks. So we are now, CityWorks are now being used more than just a work order, place to write work orders. We've built a lot of dashboards into CityWorks, and I'm not sure if you can see the whole thing.
We see it.
Okay. So we built a lot of dashboards so supervisors, managers can monitor open work orders, inspections, requests For example, we built preventative maintenance dashboards for a lot of different things. So we can put eyes on things repetitively in a systematic way.
You have a dashboard for meter replacement project?
Yes, we do for AMI.
Yes.
I can show it to you. No, I actually don't have access to
Okay.
it, but
I will.
if you'd like to see it, I can show it to you.
Okay.
I'm
Thank
working with Ingrid on that, so. Which reminds me, I've got to actually call her. Preventative maintenance, we've got dashboards for preventative maintenance, inspections, hydrants and valves, to name a few. We do routine pump station inspections, so we do that on stormwater and sewer pump stations, and we do pump station run times off there.
Okay.
We do stormwater jetting and cleaning, manhole inspections. There's a whole myriad of preventative inspections that we have. MPDES related activities. So it gives the department a clearer view of what's going on, what's happening. And dashboard support, accountability, and visibility. You're gonna hear that a lot from me, because I think that's a lot of what CityWorks offers, is a lot of accountability, visibility for division, supervisor, crew, asset type, work activities. But the next step that we're looking at for CityWorks is to continue to improve the quality of the data. What we've done here is we've implemented CityWorks, and you're gonna see that in the next slide. The data, we wanna continue to improve the quality, so these dashboards can support stronger KPIs, key performance indexes, risk scoring, future capital planning, that's coming. That's, not part of this part, but we're implemented and we're gonna get there.
So let me ask you a question, Craig. So what kind of data right now are in it? Everything, collection system, distribution, stormwater?
Yes.
Okay.
And treatment, we've got the GTL plant on board also,
And the treatment plant.
as of March of this year,
Excellent.
which completes our implementation. Whoops. This is a slide about why CityWorks was implemented. CityWorks was a consent order requirement for the wastewater collection and transmission system. It was selected with the overall objective to improve long-term infrastructure sustainability, strengthen our operational accountability, standardize maintenance tracking, and support regulatory compliance and reporting requirements like NPDES reports and whatnot. So CityWorks is now the operational system of record for utility maintenance and compliance. And here's a little timeline that goes along hand in hand. 2018, we started CityWorks. We started the program. It was implemented or initiated. It was a little lull between 2018 and the first assets coming online, which was stormwater and wastewater. There's a lot of things happened between then, I'm not gonna get into, but August 2022, we implemented stormwater and wastewater collection. July 2024, we transitioned to CityWorks Online as a software as a service. We went from on-prem to cloud, which is a Trimble offering that's on Amazon Web Services. It's 99.9% uptime. It's only been down 4 hours in 2.5 years. So, which is a lot better than the on-prem solution we had at one time. July 2025, we brought water distribution on board. 2026 GTL plant came on board, and that finished out our implementation process for CityWorks. Right now, the core utility systems are on board, so we got water, sewer, storm, and the GTL plant on board. And looking to the future, 2026 and beyond, we have the risk, condition, KPI, capital planning. We want to start to use CityWorks in a more comprehensive way to track and improve our capital planning process and KPIs, risk and conditions. All right, a little bit about SCADA. I know you mentioned SCADA, you wanted to know about. It was implemented prior to my tenure as CityWorks administrator, and from what I gleaned from talking to multiple people here at one time, they previously tried to implement SCADA with CityWorks, but due to the security concerns that the city has, IT, security. They weren't able to actually marry them. There's a way that you can do it. I reached out to the consultant. There's no direct access right now, but as far as SCADA is concerned, due to security concerns, it's never directly integrated. But there's a SCADA historian, which is a separate, so you got SCADA, then outside SCADA, I guess it copies to a historian, which you can connect to via SCADA's APIs. And with that said, there is some opportunity to connect to SCADA. I'll be looking into that soon.
Well, what I understand right now, I just wanna clarify. It's not necessary to integrate CityWorks and merge with the SCADA. I'm completely fine. I was just concerned if the CityWorks still has a capacity of telemetry for the pump stations. And it looks like you answered the question. You said that the pump stations, you monitor the runtime, you monitor, so that's also telemetry or monitoring through the, semi-SCADA, it's not necessarily the management. Treatment
We
plants.
do daily pump station inspections, we do yearly bigger pump station inspections, but they
Okay.
are always monitoring run times. And
Okay.
there's always somebody with eyes on SCADA at CMS, at our construction management services building, and they're always looking at that kind of those metrics and whatnot, so.
Yes, and SCADA is in the treatment plants, correct? Only.
Treatment and all the pump stations.
So the pump station, are they together under the same software of SCADA or they have two
No, I
different
think
softwares?
I think the treatment plant is separate, I think it's got its own dome of operation, whereas SCADA is stormwater and sewer together,
It's more like telemetry, not SCADA.
telemetry.
The remote control for the
Yes,
pumps.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Yes, they could turn it on and turn it off, or turn a pump off and on. depending.
Okay.
I'm not exactly like 100% the right guy to talk to for SCADA, but I know broadly how it
If
works.
it's working fine, I don't think it's necessary to talk.
It's not broke.
I just wanna make sure we have remote control for the collection system pumps.
All right, here's some information about operations and engineering. CityWorks is already being used heavily by both operations and engineering. The crews and supervisors use it to schedule maintenance. We track work orders and inspections, we manage service requests, and document the work being performed in the field. And all that gives us better visibility. Like I said, visibility is a big thing in CityWorks into what work is open, what has been completed, and where the issues are occurring. For engineering, the use of the data is developing. Today, we track maintenance histories with engineering. We can produce reports for engineering. We are laying the foundation for condition and risk-based decision-making in the future version of CityWorks. We are also enabling future CIP planning through our new asset management contract, which I think is being put through City Commission later this month. So we'll have some consultants on board who can help us with the new CIP planning that we want to institute.
So Craig,
Yes.
in the field then, what are the field crews using to update? What have they got in their hand?
I got that.
So Craig, what is the future CIP planning through asset management contract?
That
What
is,
that asset management contract?
what is that contract? That is a contract that we are entering into with 3 different firms. Jacobs, Stantec, and Wolpert. Wolpert was the original implementer, and we're going to be working with them with stormwater and myself. I have a lot of initiatives I want to push forward. I know there's some things that we didn't implement the first go around with CityWorks when we implemented it, so I do want to go through, talk to them about risk scoring, CIP planning, there's a lot you can do with the data, capturing conditions for assets. There's a lot of things that we can do with CityWorks that now that it's implemented, I wanna start doing. I wanna start using those condition values to provide information to make clear, here's some issues that we're having in this area, or here's some, maybe in 5 years, we should consider replacing a pipe here or there. So
And you
using the
need
data.
3 consulting firm to look into that?
We need what?
You need 3 contracts, 3 consultants? Because I
Since we're-
understand you already have that data, so you know that pipe broke 17 times in the last year.
We don't have condition values. There's a big thing with CityWorks that you have to set it up with the inspections to get that condition value brought in, and from that condition value you can get probability of failure, business risk exposure, all these other metrics that we use to calculate the risk. Do we need 3 consultants? Our stormwater team is embarking on a big project right now with a lot of CCTV that they're doing. I don't need 3. I'm gonna use 1, honestly. There's not, I only have so much room to spread myself, so I would have to defer that to the stormwater group also. We can answer that jointly for you if you like.
No, I'm just wondering what is the scope of the bringing consultant, but I'll let you go.
Well,
move
and
forward with this.
I have a similar kind of question, and that is, I'm sure few, probably many now, like that, years ago, that I was told that the previous consultant had basically categorized the vast majority of the city's sewer system anyway, possibly stormwater. Basically 3 simple categories, like good, fair, and poor or something. So, we're not reinventing the wheel, are we, with having now 3 consultants kind of look into the same data that was collected X years ago, whatever it was.
I don't believe we are. I think there's a lot of data, a lot of condition data out there we don't know. We know we have data for a lot of pipes. We don't have data for a large other amount of pipes. We do have condition values from 5 to 1. 5 is critical, 1 is good. Or maybe it's the other way around. I think it's actually 1 is critical, 5 is good. I don't know actually how to answer that. I think until I start the process with the consultants, I know that we're not reinventing the wheel where we already have conditions and we're asking them to give us more condition.
So
There's a lot of blank spots that we don't have.
I think where I was headed is it fair to say then that these contracts are more for further investigation, or are they predominantly for analysing what we've already got? And maybe
Therefore, refining what we have. We have the mechanism, but we have to put it together for it to run properly. So we have the pieces for a great Lamborghini, but we just need to put all those pieces together and make it run and tune it. Just because we have the pieces, it doesn't mean it's ready to go. So we have all these great pieces, we just need to tune it, and that's what I want them to come in and help do. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, and
Without
can you
getting
guys
into
hear
the
me?
nuts and bolts of everything, that's kind of.
it just brings in what the chair's question was, why do you need 3? Because you've got 3 people reinventing the wheel. Wouldn't it be better to have?
They're not all working on a concurrently, they're all working, one will work on one project, one task, one will work on another task. Those tasks haven't been written yet. I know I need a certain amount of work done, or I'd like to get a certain amount of initiatives done, the big one being the risk condition scoring and whatnot. Do I need three? No,
Can you guys hear me?
I just need the one.
Hello?
We have Roberto report on Zoom, city engineer.
So I think having three, it's kind of misunderstood, is they're all gonna be working on the same thing at one time. It's one at a time on one task.
Sounds like Ricardo wants to say something, right? Roberto, I'm sorry.
Close enough.
My apologies, city
No,
engineer.
that's fine. So kind of like our other contracts where we might have multiple consultants or contractors on board. It's just so we have a pool. So, you know, if someone's not able to do something, we can utilize another one. It's not necessarily have a written scope. It's more we would be issuing individual task orders. So that's kind of why we have three.
Understood, but
to-
if you read that, I'm sorry, future CIP planning support through asset management contract. So I believe the future CIP planning, it's up to the department directors. Sounds to me that you have assets, you may need field verification for accuracy because you thinking some of them may not be accurate. But
Yes,
you
that
can
was also
only
one of the-
check by the field verification, but as the work orders are being implemented every day, somebody is using the tablet, somebody is at that valve, he can or she can field verify there's a valve there or it's not.
Right.
So that's how you improve the accuracy of the software. But all this future CIP planning, I believe, you know, that you have already those dashboards that supposed to be visual and help, okay, you have 80% breaks in the northeast side of the town, a collection system, you have most of the leaks over there or the sewer blockages, you may need some improvements, some capital projects. So that's why you have those dashboards as a tools. I don't necessarily, that was my question, you need consultants to give the CIP plan because that's
I'm
kind
not
of.
sure about that portion, but what I wanted to touch on, we have a lot of data gaps. I think Craig was alluding to it. For instance, a lot of at least when I was looking more closely at sanitary sewer elevations, I don't have inverts and I don't have bottom of structures. So we have these things with values of negative 99. I know they're not negative 99. It would be extremely useful if we had that data. But I see what you're getting at with the CIP planning, right? I should be able to pull from the dashboard the critical areas based on
Yes,
the
at some
field
point,
folks inputting data.
well, the sewer inverts, I tell you, that's probably not, you probably need it when the developments are coming and you wanna know that exactly. But at least you
Correct.
have a data, you know where is a manhole, you know where is a collection, where is a gravity, where is a forcement, you know the size. At some point, you know, I don't wanna us to be unable to use the software because we're striving for perfection. We're never gonna be in the point that we have 100%, everything perfect. At some point we need to, and it's gonna get more perfect as the staff is using, because they're gonna be able to adjust. Now that manhole is actually 3 feet away, you know, and it's not on the northwest 3rd Street, it's on the northwest 4th Street. So at some point we just need to use that as it is, and you know, I don't wanna spend our time and money and we're not using a software because we don't have an inverts to the manhole, inside the manhole. So I'm seeing a hands up, but I understand you have RFQ going for the contractors. That's always good to have as a backup plan in case. Let me ask you a question. How big is this department that works specifically on the city works?
My team, I have two other GIS analysts and one engineering tech.
Well,
So-
congratulations, because it's a big city. So
Yeah.
I understand you need the contractors.
We are hiring one more person and another CAD, so
All right,
it'll
I
be
see.
6 by the time I'm done,
Will be 6?
6 including myself.
Okay, well, looks like there's a lot of assets and it's more and you definitely need help. I'm seeing hands up, I'm not sure who was first, but Roosevelt was first, Roosevelt, then Pete and Craig.
I'm gonna choose a couple of these of my 1,000 questions. And I normally don't even talk in these meetings, I usually just sit here and listen. But you have raised a couple of interesting points. And the last one being, when you said there's a lot out here we don't know. Are we talking about the system or are we talking about A&I? What is it that you don't know?
Condition. Simple, just
To-
condition values of the system.
Condition of
You have
the
a pipe put
material
in-
we have in the ground.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have spent quite a few millions on trying to determine what's in the ground already.
What is in the ground compared to condition of it are two different things.
I understand that, but if we've already put cameras in the ground and all that other stuff that we've already done, why are we doing it again?
Cause the conditions are worsened too. We probably put the camera 5 years ago.
Yes.
We routinely put cameras in the
Okay.
ground.
Okay.
So we're taking that data, that PACP data, and we're gonna put it into our system. And that PACP data basically feeds back our condition values as a score. With those scores, we can predict certain things in the city. We can predict that pipe is of this age or not this age, this critical factor. So we need to either look in the next 5 years or this window of time to replace that pipe. We always do CCTV.
Okay, let me ask
Conditions
you-
are always changing,
let me
so
ask you-
taking those CCTV values is important, and getting those CCTV values into our system through the proper inspections and creating those inspections to a standard that CityWorks can understand is something that we have to work with the consultants on. Honestly, it's something I haven't done, and it's something that I think we should do that somebody else has done many times, so I wanna make sure that we do it right.
And in fact, it haven't been done many a time. That's why we're in this situation that we in. Okay, and I thank you for that information, but is there a limitation that is set on AI so that it don't get the information from all over the world and try to put it here in the city of Fort Lauderdale and tell us that's what our system should be?
Well, you can look up different things, maybe you can look up what should our reactive work orders be, how many percentage should this be, or the other thing. There's standards of what different systems are. If our standard is, hey, we shouldn't be writing more than 25% reactive work orders. Is that an industry standard? I don't know. Is that something that the AI would look at and aggregate and say, here's what the average should be for your city? I don't know. We haven't used it yet, so I can't speak to that really.
And my last question would be, does the wider the inclusion weaken or strengthen our ability to handle the problems right now and future?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
You do really want me to repeat?
Yeah, I'm
Does widening the inclusion of what AI can tell us and what we can find out on our own hinder or help us to take care of the situation that we're in now and in the future? Are we gonna be better at it or worse
as far as AI,
as far as getting the job done? I don't care who do it.
I'll have to get back to you on that one once we start using AI, that we haven't started down that path yet. And like I said to Peter just a moment ago, I'm a big proponent of somebody being between the data and the system. And I like to say nothing gets through CityWorks that I can't see everything. I put processes in place where accurate data gets recorded, and that data is vetted by supervisors, managers through QA/QC processes. So the data that we do have is being vetted, it's being QA/QC. There's always somebody between the data and the system. Are we gonna get better? That's the goal, always improve. But without throwing away your control.
Okay. Oh, yeah, all right. I'm
Peter,
good.
and the one question only. Ms. Burke, you exhausted your question.
So my question is more for Roberto, I think. So I think we're, speaking for myself, getting the need for further investigation, that element. And I get that traditionally the city has had several contractors with similar abilities, so that if one is overloaded with work, we can go to another or whatever it might be. But if we're going to use everything we know for a methodology to decide how to best spend the shortage of dollars relative to the demands, then it seems to me that we need a common approach. We can't have three different consultants arriving at three different methodologies. So if you're going to use three, they need to all be exactly on the same page as to the basic methodology.
That would be in a criteria package, in a scope. Greg?
I'd like to use the Victoria Park Stormwater Project as an example, right? So, does that project have scope in it that was released to people that are actually working there that requires them to provide as-built or as-inspected information back into CityWorks in a format that you can use and accept to fill in those data gaps that you might have around the Victoria Park stormwater system?
Yeah, well, usually we get the as-built as a AutoCAD drawing or a PDF that we have to manually put in to our GIS system. That's what my other two GIS employees do all day long. Not everything, but most of the time. So that is brought back into the system manually right now. When the work is done, we get the as-builts are converted, put into GIS. There's a process that we use for that. There's a set way that we do that to make sure the as-builts have enough information that we get what we need to put into GIS. I'd like to work on a better way where we get the data as a GDB file or as a GIS compatible file that we could just do that. And we had one consultant do that. It didn't work out so well. We had a lot of issues. It was a schema issue. And I think what happened was they didn't really consult. There was a project that wasn't that was done very well, but there was a couple fields missing on their data when they try to bring it back into GIS. So there was some gaps there. We still have to put eyes on it. So there's some things I'd like to have in the future. I'd love to have, here's your as-built as a GDB file and you just take it, but you still need somebody to go through the as-built and verify what they're giving you is correct. And it takes a lot of time, but it's necessary to ensure what we're getting is accurate.
So that's as-built. What about as inspected?
As expected.
Yeah, so they're out there, these teams are out there inspecting. We're still talking about the water, the stormwater project. So they're inspecting pipes and inspecting the different components of that network. So are they providing an as inspected information back to you? Like on a grade of 1 to 5, this pipe is.
No, we just get the current project with the as-built. Yeah, we don't get the as expected.
So that's your food verification.
The only thing that gets as built is brand new pipe. We're not the contract's not to inspect things that are existing.
I understand that, but they're out there doing spot assessments trying to determine what needs to be fixed. And-
No, that's not what they're doing. The plans were already designed. The contractor's out there and the CI is to perform what was already designed and permitted.
Okay,
So how about
So there-
So we
city
get as-built
inspections?
in, we get as-built-ed, things that were already built.
Exposing existing conditions.
okay.
Why not?
It's not part of the contract.
Well, that's what, you know, like if it was,
Holes
is that-
everywhere.
It'd be convenient for every contractor to say, here's what we found around our job and survey it and bring it back, it would be expensive. We just focus on what was built, the as-built portion.
I understand. I'm just thinking if the data is, if any quality of line information is being generated as sort of a spin-off of some of the projects we're doing, can that be captured? Sounds like it's not being, there's not much data, quality of system data being created.
We get all the new things, as Roberto said, all the new pipe, all the new structures. I'm not sure what other things are spun off from those
Right.
projects, but anything that's new, that's as built in on the drawings, we put it in.
So let me ask you a question. How do you guys collect the initial data? There was somebody with the trimble in the field, or there was just the scanning of the as-built?
Like the
Initial data
survey?
for collection system, let's say, for the pipes, manholes.
I've never been out in the field with the consultant or the contractor doing that.
So contractor was collecting that data?
Pardon me?
Does the contractor collect the data? Who collect the initial data?
Are you mean the initial data to build city works, or are you talking about a
To
project?
build city
To build
work.
city works.
I think they started with as-built, right, Craig?
We started with as-built, way back when. I provided the city's as-built. They were verified through various processes. I think a lot of it was surveyed by different consultants, probably with Trimble or
Like a field verification.
field verification.
Okay,
And they were subsequently put back into the GIS system, given back to us, we vetted it, we confirmed QA QC'd it, and brought it back into our system, so.
okay, so you think this is accurate right now, or you feeling that there is a need for improvement? Do you have any feedback from the city staff when they go with the tablets and ask to do inspections?
We're always.
Well, I can tell you from trying to find some water main stuff, it's interesting.
Yeah, water may be the big, I'm confident sewer and storm are fairly accurate. I think that we could, percentage-wise, I can't put a 90 or 99% on those. I think the one I hear back from most is water. There's still some areas where water isn't, and it's because, you know, you can open up a manhole and see where sewer is, see where storm is. With water, it may be a line, that may be a valve that's been paved over. So there's some things with water that may be a little bit, I would say the condition of the system where my thought is the reliability or the accuracy of the system is pretty high. I wish I could give you a number on that. I would like to know. I'm constantly getting GIS work updates from the field saying, hey, this valve is abandoned, or this there's a paved over valve that should be here, you know. So we're always making modifications. CityWorks helps us to
So how you
coordinate
marking
that.
the valve that it's abandoned or paid over? Are you marking this as a, you know, abandoned, or are you marking this as a need to replace?
If it's in our system, as a GIS system, as a valve, and it's been paved over, it means that it's in our GIS system and everybody's out there with the field crews in the field, they find a valve, but it's not there, so they're assuming it's paved over. So what we'll do is we'll get our crew out there and they'll excavate the pavement to try to find the valve.
Or they just go to the next valve to isolate, right? Because that's,
I'm not exactly sure the process.
yeah.
But there is a method they use to find the valve.
But you already log this as a non-operational valve or cannot find valve, right? Like there's a line item with the different color scheme, so at the end of the year, you can tell me in your one of the dashboards that the city crew inspected 3,000 valves through the years, through this year annually, and 500 were abandoned or couldn't find.
I can
And
show
you
you
can
that.
give that dashboard to the capital project manager and can say, you know what, we don't need 50% of those valves, but we need those 10 valves because they're critical, because they serve hospital. Yes? Okay,
Yes,
so we don't need a contractor to do that, that actually,
Correct,
you can
correct.
give the dashboard and the, somebody from Public Works or
We're gonna use
utilities
as much
can
work as we
say.
have, as much data as we have to provide to
Yeah.
the consultant. I'm
You
not
can-
gonna give the consultant, hey, here's a blank check to go out and do stuff we already did.
Yes.
That's not my.
But the key to this success is obviously data collection. And those workers that you're giving them training in the field,
Yes.
because they provide you with feedback, they're your workforce. So that software is gonna get better if they put those information. And then I understand the GIS would just mark this with the different color scheme, separated as a non-operational, need to be replaced or don't need to be replaced, but that's a decision for the manager. But that needs to be catched like real time, because it's getting forgotten. And then the next year, there is a crew and the water break again, and we look for the same valve again. We already know on the GIS, okay, that valve we couldn't find last year. It's not operational, we not even bother that tree anymore, we go to another tree.
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
I
so
wish I
that,
could show you my dashboard for water valves.
I'm sure it's impressive.
Pretty proud of it. I'm actually, yeah, very proud of it because it's.
So the right hand or left hand turn?
So,
Oh, the valve to turn it off?
I mean, I let
they
you
capture all
to
that.
continue,
We've had a
but
couple of them, with Broward County for a while.
you know more questions.
Found some right hand turn ones and they thought, well, yeah, we got it wide open, no, they haven't right closed.
Yeah, yeah. They capture all that with the data and they've got number of turns, exercise all the time. A bunch of different things. Yeah, I wish I could show that dashboard right now.
You cannot?
No.
You have a connection to
I
the?
don't.
Works?
Yeah,
Okay, well, let's make it done, so I would like to see
let's
it.
make it done.
Okay. No more questions.
So that's our operations and engineering. The operational benefits are fewer failures. Hopefully fewer failures through reduced emergency repairs through proactive maintenance. The more you proactively inspect your assets, the more you're gonna be, the system's gonna be accurate and you're going to hopefully decrease the amount of failures and reduced emergency repairs because you're putting eyes on it prior to things getting bad. Operational benefits, preventative maintenance, improved PM completion rates, and asset longevity. Also, resource efficiency, the better allocation of staff time and operational budgeting. Cross-divisional visibility, I keep mentioning visibility, that's a big thing with city work. Cross-divisional visibility, improved collaboration, that's huge. And compliance tracking, enhanced documentation supporting audits and regulatory reporting, such as NPDES.
So, under coordination, so you mentioned earlier you have all your work orders in the system, right? Do they all have like addresses on them? So like if I'm project manager A and I'm working on the roads, I'm gonna pave this road, can I see if there's other work orders or projects going on in that road for maybe the water system or some
Yes, there's a method
Okay.
to do just that.
But only for the city's projects, of course.
Correct.
You don't know if
We don't know, we don't put in everybody else's.
TNT is out there or whatever.
I would love that, that would be great.
That would be great.
The AI could do that one day.
Maybe the consultants could look into that.
Yeah,
Alright. No more questions?
So that's in closing, I wanna say the system's fully implemented across core utility operations. It provides a lot of visibility. We support long-term operational and compliance goals and it's a foundation for future decision-making that we have. With that said, that's the end of my spiel and
So I would like to see that, if the board members would like to see the
you wanna see a sample?
real
Yeah, that's
time.
possible.
I can bring my laptop up here, plug in.
Maybe you can work on this?
Before you close,
Yes,
could I see, I'm Ray George, Dilla Park Homeowners Association President.
Yeah.
Could I see like, you right in my area for that Sunrise Bridge going up, right? So I would like to see, what what it looks like? What you're working on there and what's gonna happen and how it looks when you're done, what's going on there?
I'm not sure what that
The
project is.
Sunrise Bridge,
That's not this
that's not our board purview.
Department of Transportation, right?
Now, this is the infrastructure board, so we only
This is
working.
Sunrise Boulevard, right?
Yes, but we working with the utilities, water, wastewater collection system, pump station, so this is more mobility project for the Department of Transportation. So,
Yeah, Sunrise is a state road. It's not a city infrastructure.
oh, that's not even city,
That's the FDOT.
No, Sunrise Boulevard is FDOT. So any project there is FDOT, not City of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
so we don't even know anything about this project, I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right, well, as Craig is connecting to this.
Yeah.
I give you a time, but I do have a question to O'Neill. And I would like to see the City Works collection system. And I tell you why.
Data collection.
Correct, data collection. Thank you for. When is the wastewater treatment plant operational permit expiring with the DEP?
I would have
Not
to
sure.
refer to the wastewater operational plan with FDP.
So I can get your information.
And
What was your question? Sorry.
the wastewater operational permit for the,
GTF?
yes, for
Yeah.
the plant,
Yeah,
do we know when it's expiring?
December 1st, 2026.
Okay, so this
And
is a.
we're already engaged a
You are
consultant.
in a renewal, perfect, so it's kind of heads up. There is a DEP requirement, every new permit renewal, you don't have this right now yet, but your new permit, which is gonna be December this year, every permittee, which is here in City of Fort Lauderdale, and I have that from my own experience, we are required to do DEP inspection of our collection system. And we have 5-year permit, we have to inspect 100% of the entire collection system, means lift stations, means CCTV or gravity, that's counting, manholes. And air relief valves, ARVs. You have to do, in a time of 5 years, you're gonna have to have this documented. What that means, you can do 20% in each year, you can do nothing for 4 years and do 100 on the year 5. But the updates have to be submitted to DEP annually. So by June 30 of each year, you're gonna have to send the report to DEP and tell them, I inspect 5% of my gravity this year, and this is how I done it, either CCTV, I'm not sure the city, obviously you have trucks. I inspect 15% of my manholes, I inspected 25% of my ARVs. And that's gonna be conditions of your permits, that's across the board, all the utilities. There is a lot of push from the DEP on investments into collection system, obviously they wanna have a system tight. So that requirement was passed with the Florida statute law 2 years ago, and it's activated with your new permit. So you kind of grandfather in, which I kind of wanna see collection system because it's critical right now to have a City Works and all the data set of the collection system. Because going forward, if you have 10,000 manholes, you're gonna have to inspect 10,000 manholes in 5 years. So you can do 2,000 every year, you can do 5,000. So I kind of wanna give the city heads up, that's a compliance issue. So you, obviously your next permit, they're gonna require 100%, so you have 5 years, but every pump station needs to be inspected and the manholes and the gravity. I only know because I'm doing, this is my year 1, and it's quite important to have the data set, good database with that permit renewal, because at least you know, and you can kind of scale down, on a schedule, how much.
And that's completely independent of any consent order.
Correct, that's just to, that's in your permit.
Yeah.
That every city has to do it, it's nothing wrong with Fort Lauderdale, we all have to do it in the state of Florida. We must inspect our collection system.
So, Craig or Albert may know this answer, so we're doing this, or the part that the consultant's contract is for, is sort of a question. We're doing that because that's a requirement, is a requirement in a consent order for that. That's correct, I believe, that we,
For distribution system, correct.
the distribution
That was
system.
due the boil water
So,
notices.
Are we currently submitting reports on the progress on this work to DEP, since it was a requirement under the consent order?
For the city works work, or?
I guess City Works, you indicated at the outset that some of this impetus is coming from the requirement under the consent order.
That one was complete.
So, is that complete?
That there was implementation of the city works
implementation
to
part,
have
yes, yeah.
valves,
So-
I believe.
Well, you've been talking about the existing City Works, which is sort of a work in progress anyway, because it's constantly being updated. But at some point, what we had was submitted and deemed to be sufficient for the consent order, is that right? I'm just fixated a bit on getting consent order things
For
done.
initial consent order, yes, that initial water consent order's been closed out, we met the requirements.
Okay, so that requirement of that
It's been
consent order
fulfilled.
has been closed down.
Madam Chair.
Okay, yes. Did we help that gentleman, the public,
No, yeah.
he's being helped?
But you just wanna talk about.
Excuse me, sir, because we have a public.
Yeah, but that's at the end of the agenda.
Yeah.
He still wants to stay with us?
I'm gonna step out with him.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
I
Meeting next Monday
I
about
feel-
summer spreads.
I feel like one-legged person. Since this side of the table have talked and talked, and I haven't heard nothing from my friends on the other side of the table. And I feel half done.
We'll go over there.
Why?
Because you guys, conversation means a lot to me.
Okay, let's go back to the agenda conversation. Craig is trying to log it in. Anything related to asset management?
I'm trying to get to the see if they got anything to say.
You want my opinion?
Yes.
If they can utilize
Well,
AI properly, I think it's great.
Huh?
If they can utilize the AI
Craig, are you ready?
and manage everything and the
I'm
work
trying to connect,
orders.
but I'm still having issues right now.
That's if they can manage it.
Long term,
It
has only built.
Hold on, I have too many people talking at the same time.
Right, it won't work.
Greg,
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Proper management.
Asset management
I don't know, I don't know what way to do it.
and the consultant contract. So do you know, Neil,
Yes, sir.
if this consultant's contract, is that on the next agenda? I don't think it is.
It's not yet, we're still evaluating it, so it has not been into an agenda yet, but it'll be very soon.
So it's definitely not on the next agenda.
It's not on
Because-
tomorrow's agenda.
I feel like this is exactly the kind of subject that the commission had in mind when they appointed us. It's completely relevant to underground infrastructure. And it is rather difficult to get your hands around and understand. And, you know, we've spent whatever it is now, an hour plus. And, you know, you can't expect the commission to spend that kind of time on every subject. So, you know, we need to be clear in our minds that the way the city is headed on this is the right kind of thing. And I'm getting convinced, but I'm not fully there yet.
About having the
I think-
multiple consultants?
Okay,
hold on, Garo,
I gotta give Roosevelt my 2 cents.
Yes.
okay, only two,
It's
please.
a coordinate inflation.
The questions are too complicated for me. That's why I was sitting and listening. Okay, so it's a software program that's reliant upon 3 things: location of the asset, status of the asset, condition of the asset. The scariest thing that Craig said was, I'm having trouble with the condition part. to me, right? There's that, and without the condition data, you're missing the maintenance piece. That's going to be the thing that's the determinant of when you gotta take care of it next.
But you can't have, this is a sort of area where you can never have perfect information. And
Well, I'm not asking for perfect information, but remember what started all of this is, you know, a contractor put a drill through a water pipe. Or they didn't know where a valve was, so the first, to me, the priority is the location.
I actually think it started before then as a concept, and maybe even with the city doing some preliminary work. But you're right, that's what brought it
That's
to
the
a head.
consent game.
And that sort of thing is still happening.
And what I meant by the complexity of the question is, the stuff that I'm asking is yes or no, or is the location mapped, yes or no? Because if the answer is yes, then Roosevelt's happy. If the answer is no, why not?
And I won't be happy.
And I have to agree with Gerald, because if the location is wrong, like what's the information, we're looking for asset conditions that we know that's, it's not even there.
And it's good
That's the
that,
first to verify location.
it's good that all the new stuff is going in properly.
I would like to streamline that new stuff, that we can always have a criteria or a template as the developers would have to, if they're putting a new force main or anything, they would have to provide the information back to the city in this format, so it's easier on our staff. You know, we only have a few people entering this data for entire city. But I think we need to find a balance with this, because I know we're spending a lot of money on documenting our assets, but we also have to, we don't want this to just thinking, oh, because we know we have a bad, sewer pipes, now we're feeling better. No, we need to do, at the same time, in parallel, we need to do lining, we need to do replacement, repairs, and maintenance. So I don't want us to just not doing any work because, we're waiting until city works tell us what we're supposed to do. Obviously, we have a run times and the pump stations and everything. We gotta find a medium balance. We can't be just striving for perfection. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely not waiting for city works to come on board to program capital projects. I mean, we're actively with our I&I program, doing a lot of smoke testing, CCTV, and we have already all our priority basins where a lot of the inflow's coming from and infiltration. I mean, we kind of know our issues with stormwater. We're already kind of planning ahead for the next 20 so years. So it's not like we're waiting on it, but I can see the usefulness for doing predictions on, where we might want to target something that we may not be on our radar.
Okay,
Okay,
Ralph?
where I was trying to explain was
What's that?
the fact that, I thought I had it again, okay.
Okay, Ralph, you good?
Excuse me, let me get one. I think a critical part of this whole operation is as-built. I can recall a lot with Broward County and then some involvement with City of Fort Lauderdale, that they didn't really have as-built. They didn't know what they had in the ground and where it was. And until you have, and I know that Fort Lauderdale has been actively working and developing and confirming their as-built out there. And it's more to just the as-built, it's a type of material. Is the stormwater pipe in a hydraulic gradient or is it just flat, or is it more like a sanitary sewer thing? How was it installed? I mean, these are key things. The material is the big part. There's a lot of them. But they had steel pipe and it's gone rusted. And I think getting out there and establishing as-built information on location, the material, trying to determine the age of the system, give us a better idea on trying to estimate when they're gonna have to go in there and replace it, enlarge it. I mean, the water mains is a perfect example of that with all the high rises going up. We got like 6, 8, even 10-inch water mains that were out there with these large condominiums going up, they're gonna have to come in there with a large diameter water main to provide just meet
But Ralph,
minimum pressures.
that estimate is being run when the developers is coming to the area. So they do check capacity of the pipes and infrastructure around. So if it's a lift station need or they do. We discussed it in the previous meeting. Okay, I see something on the board. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Looks
Martha,
pretty blue dots.
This is a sample.
Blue for the water, so I would ask Craig to continue, explain us what is it?
This is a sample of, well, the actual water valve inspections dashboard that we use.
Means the exercising of the valve?
This is, yeah, I can show you a sample inspection.
Okay.
This is just the dashboard, the overall dashboard that tells you how many inspections per month was done up here in the top.
Oh, wow, okay.
Tells you potable valves inspected, source valves inspected, those are the raw water valves, source valves. How many were inoperable, and you could select these different blue dots, which represents non-inspected valves.
Okay,
And with that valve selected, you can select the
number?
the valve inspection ID. And from there, the right side of the screen opens up to where that valve is located. Here's that valve right here. And here's your left side is your inspection. I can roll that up. You can see the different inspection details. We have valve general inspection, approximate address, diameter, water type, various operable, various data that they collect from their field observations. Any comments they have.
So going back to Gerald's comment, locations there. Status, status would be material, age,
Materials there.
okay. And then condition, date inspected, and condition scoring 1 to 5.
There is no condition value on this inspection.
Why not?
What do?
Wasn't
You go
inspected
down, I saw deficiencies. Obviously, when it's stuck, it's frozen, that's, you can,
Was this one inspected?
This one is not inspected yet, no.
But there's not a template, and there's not a place in the template to put condition.
You could act, yeah, we could add that. And that's one of the things, we have so many of these inspection templates, I wanna work with the consultant to standardize our condition observations. So we could pick those up and have those in CityWorks.
Well-
So that's a little bit about just the valve dashboard. Real quick though, you mentioned as-bills and what we have as-bills for and what we don't. In our CityWorks map, you can actually click on the items. For instance, you can click on this inlet. It gives you a listing of if there's an as-built for this, which there's not.
but you have a link
It's on a project number, so
Yeah.
we do have a way to track those.
to link them, yes.
Anytime there's an as-built that comes in, we put it in our GIS system.
So let me ask you a question, who does those inspections for the valve exercise? Is that the city workers?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, so I'm assuming this 14,000 to go, that's a lot, but that's in a 5 years. So
2
you can-
years.
In a 2 years, you have to exercise each valve in a
They
2?
have to inspect, yeah, you're supposed to, that's a state requirement, you're supposed to exercise a valve once every 2 years.
There's 7,000 here.
Or just the critical valves every 2 years?
All the valves.
All the valves?
Is there a colored icon for not inspected, or do you have to click every single
Yes,
one
Well,
and
this is
see?
the staff goes by and exercises all the valves.
Do you
semi-annually.
have the critical valves?
Name a critical valve, I don't understand.
The one that-
question.
the one
Critical valve
that's-
is there, critical valve is the one next to your house that doesn't work.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So bigger lines, yeah, if you wanna talk about
Yes,
those,
because those ones are annual.
the transmission ones. They don't, the state doesn't distinguish between critical and
Well,
non.
you distinguish as a city director.
We make sure the valves
So
are operable.
So there is a isolation, let's say, for the critical infrastructure, the city hall or the hospital. That could be critical because there's critical infrastructure, because the size, but that's not, they're not dictating that. That's your
Valves are meant for
discretion.
isolation, so it's really, what's the gap between two valves? So if you have a valve that doesn't work, where's the next valve? So you have to isolate a bigger section of the city. So it's a different, so that's why you want to make sure all your valves are operable, so that you minimize your need to isolate certain portions of the distribution system if there was a leak or something needs to be repaired.
So under this project, we're inspecting all 14,000 valves.
That's not this project, that's just the city's operations.
Okay. Can any of the data gathered here be fed into CityWorks and be used to tell us?
This is city work.
I'm sorry. It can be used to tell us what we need to work on next as far as valve replacement?
Yeah, you have not operable, you have 9. See
Well,
that number?
That's part of what that Craig and the city works is making our written work orders, our written maintenance information flow, instead of doing it by written document we inspected, now we're in a work order. Now all the inspections are uploaded, it will be uploaded to city works, and it says there's a deficiency, that generates an automatic work order. So that's all, instead of going through the paper trail, it's going through the electronic trail.
That's right.
I think the question is, what goes into a decision to replace a valve? They don't last forever, so age is one thing, condition is another, but isn't that the decision-making process? We have so much money to replace valves this year, so which are the most important ones to replace?
It'll be part of if we can, it all goes into the budget and the priority list, Peter, just like anything else, whether it's, you have a 6-inch neighborhood meter, maybe you don't prioritize it as much. If it's operable, but it needs to be exercised more often, the valve stem replaced instead of the valve itself, all those things would go into it.
But shouldn't that information, that sounds like you're doing it like seat of the pants, the old-fashioned way, if I can put it like that. Shouldn't CityWorks be working towards pushing out that kind of information?
As Craig said, the CityWorks is only good as the information that it's provided. So that's what we're working on right now, making sure all the work information our staff's doing is properly inputted into CityWorks, therefore you get the good information coming out. So that's what we're working, that's why we say it's a work in progress.
It is.
It's trying to make sure we're getting good information uploaded, educating staff on how to properly upload that information.
But if you have a budget for valve replacement, would your first step be to ask CityWorks to output a list of all the valves over 40 years old or something? Is that a reasonable use of it?
It's a reasonable use to know, to answer a question, should we go out there and exercise those valves more frequently? That could do that, so if we exercise, even though valve's 40 years old, it might not need to be replaced. It's fully operational, it's got good gears on it, it's a smaller valve, it's a good gate valve versus a ball valve, whatever types of valve it is, that's the types of valves. It could be well functional. But other valves that are different things, they're side mounted, they weren't exercised for years, they lock up a lot. The number of turns, somebody was talking about that, the more turns is, the more times you exercise the valve, the more you probably need to replace it, so all that will go in, all that goes in the factory, yes. And it goes into CityWorks, right now it's kind of half and half, done through manual lists. Then eventually it'll get to CityWorks within this year, next 3 years, and then it'll all be spelled those annual priority lists.
But that goes,
I think the city has come a long way ever since the FP&L got over to the raw water area and drilled a hole into the, was it a 42 inch? I forgot exactly. 48 inch. There was a lot of things revealed in the sense that I guess the city didn't really know where the valves were over there. They didn't seem to have updated as-bills. And so that's one flat red flag that came up. And then, of course, having someone come in on that site without proper permission was another one, I believe, that they went in there and in fact, they were in the wrong location. They were thinking they were somewhere else. I don't remember what the excuse was, but unfortunately, a lot of these things come out when there is a problem and it was out. And it's nice to have something that you're ahead of the game when you can go out there and say, hey, we gotta do a better job in as-bilting, and we've got to exercise the valves. And there are so many turns per inch diameter, and be able, and some people get out there and they were cranking it like it was an exercise and a race and cause a water surge type of problem. And so there's a lot of things to be said on establishing a process and how to go about doing something and knowing what you have in the ground.
Lindsay, I saw your hand up. Any questions?
There was a gray little section, I think it was like 30 something last month, and it says unknown or null. What is that? Unknown what, location or valve?
Unknown.
And then how do you address those unknowns?
That's part of what we're doing right now, that there's, even though the first consent order was done, there is still, and I'll go into Craig's system or our GIS system, and there's a lot of pipes that say unknown. It says 6-inch unknown. That's what we need to do, is find out what that unknown is. Whether it's, we only know the type, age, and size of pipe, and then we have to know what the condition of that pipe is. So those are really the 4 basic criteria, whether it's 1 through 5 or written notes. That's what we need to find out about all those pipes. Some of them still say, and if that pipe's unknown, that's most likely that valve is unknown. What the size of it, what the type of valve is. So yes, that we're trying to close that gap.
When does one go back to find out the unknown?
We're hopefully get that done in the next 3 years, all that 30% done.
So if you have to do it in 2, they have to be tested, right?
The valves, we can test the valves to make sure it's operable. That's what the test, does it close, does it open, does it turn, is operable. They're not looking really for a condition assessment. Is the valve up? Can we still isolate the system? That's the really the criteria of exercising a valve. We have to find out it doesn't work, then we go in to find out replace and what we need to do to replace that valve. But now we
For the unknowns, oh, sorry, Al.
Go ahead, Roberto.
No, I was just gonna say for the unknowns, because I see this also in the stormwater as well. A lot harder for water mains and force mains because we would have to basically do subsurface utility excavations to actually put eyes on it to get the size and the material. So it could be done, of course. It's just I think it'd be better to find out more of what these locations are and have one of our surveyor contractors do all that work.
So if there's a developer coming in that area, are they required to dig up everything to find out?
Not necessarily, it depends on what kind of work they're doing. Someone who said that we don't require a contractor, but if we see a contractor, or we know a contractor, or one of our contractors are working and they expose a pipe, we'll get in there and find out what type of pipe that is, what's the size of that pipe.
Yeah, when it comes to the developer, and Shane definitely knows this, when we do the water and sewer analysis, that's when we kind of see where there's issues as far as maybe fire flow, so we might have to upsize water main. So it's not necessarily knowing what's there today, because they're going to have to end up upsizing a portion of it regardless. Have there been, I think maybe one I worked on with you, Shane, in the past, maybe we didn't know what size it was, but then he had CCTV and he sent it to us. So I don't see it happen very often when it comes, at least on the developer side, with the unknowns.
Okay, any more questions for asset management? Public comments we take at the end, I'm sorry. Can I see the collection system dashboard? Craig, please. Looks like the water, it's nice and shiny blue.
We have a bunch of different ones, what exactly,
Okay, show me
something else?
anything with the collection system and the inspections,
How about a hydrant?
manholes. Hydrants in water, you know, I kind of wanna see progress of the
Manholes,
manholes, sounds good.
anyway, you have dots in that
At
lines.
least we know where they are.
Dots in that lines.
Manhole preventative.
And something for the stormwater, and then we can conclude this.
There's some from stormwater, here's our manhole
Presentation.
inspection.
I had that one thing on.
This is stormwater?
Yes, that's for the discussion, I'm talking
This
presentation.
is stormwater, this is manhole.
This is stormwater.
That's fine, show us something on the
Stormwater,
stormwater.
schedule manhole inspections.
Those are the manhole inspections.
Okay, and you guys doing them,
So they're all basically the same thing, they have a
Kinda-
map with these scheduled inspections on one side, what we've closed down, and, you know, the bar chart to show you kind of the past 3 months.
an inspection means you just open manhole and look it, or you go inside, or both?
There's different criteria with the
Okay.
different observations that they have. I forget now, I had this one created, I'm not exactly sure what.
I'm glad to hear that city is ahead of the
So
schedule.
inside this one,
Yeah.
we're picking up, the observations we're picking up, needs cleaning, needs repair, manhole type. We do have a condition on this one, 1 through 5.
Okay.
1 is excellent, 5 is critical. So we're picking that up too. And one more dashboard that we use, let's go into swaps, stormwater ops. We do inlet inspections, and we can just look at this guy real quick. Same format, map on one side. And you're gonna see a bunch of green and blue. The greens have not been inspected, the blues have.
Mhm. I like that color code personally,
Green is open, blue is closed. So you can tell right
at least
from,
you know where you need to go, right?
yeah, and these are done every 4 months, I believe, every quarter, or every 3 months.
Are those the inline check valves?
No, these are the inlets.
Just the inlets.
So you can click on that and it picks up all the inlet information, same thing as as we've seen before, you can open up the work order in this case, or the inspection details, and see the observations, they pick up needs cleaning, needs repair, general notes, inlet type. There is no condition on this one, we'll have to add that.
Okay, so let me ask
Same
you,
kind of,
principal.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, so the city staff does those routine maintenance and inspections, maintenance, kind of open to see the condition. With the city vehicles, city employees, city tablets, and they cover, valve exercise, collection manholes and inlets and stormwater, so congratulations, because that's a lot of work, just driving around the city and keep doing this routine work every day.
yeah, I give them credit because they do this day in and day out, and, some of the guys are just to do this day in and day out, it's a big feat,
Okay.
but,
Yeah, one of the other neat things in there is we can click on like a specific inlet and see the history of work order repairs on it, and there's photos in there and observations, so it's pretty useful.
Oh, absolutely. Question, if the contractor, let's say, they're doing lining, right, in a city. At the same time, they open the manhole, they line the pipe. Is how that data is incorporated to the software? Is the contractor at the end tells you, I just lined that much pipe from manhole at this number to this number, and you guys flag this as a new liner in the 2026, or the city staff is coming entering the data, because there's a lot of data happening also because the contractors are doing projects, right?
Yes.
So I wanna incorporate that data, even the inspections. Somebody already opened that manhole.
we get those either through a GIS update, which comes in through CityWorks. And we changed that in our GIS data set, there's a field in there for lined yes or no. So we'll change the lining,
Okay.
yes or no, we'll change the type of liner, whether it's a cast in place
But
or.
that has to be entered by the city staff, right?
Yes,
Correct, okay.
And the date will go with it, right?
and the date, the contractor,
Well,
Yeah.
maybe that's good, so they don't have to share the passwords,
so yeah.
entering the data, security. Okay, any other questions related to asset management?
Just a comment. Since I asked the question about the contracts going to the commission, and they're not going next time, but they will be going. When they go, I would suggest you put a good explanation, which is that agenda item, as to exactly what these consultants are for. And if it's, 3 consultants that are doing the same thing, then you can have one explanation. Say we need 3 because one is busy or one is drawn off onto other work. But because it's a complicated subject, I think it would be helpful to the commission if there was a good explanation of when you've had city works going on in the background for a long time, why these consultants are needed now at this time and exactly what they're gonna do.
So the last part trailed off, but then.
So when the solicitation was issued, there was a defined scope of work for this solicitation. So the scope is there. So in essence, all 3 vendors or consultants can perform the same work. Now, the reason why there's 3 of them is for us to have the flexibility and a pool of, in the event that perhaps one consultant does not have the manpower to do the work, then we could go on to the other consultant. It's not that all 3 of them will be doing the exact same work at the same time.
No, I get that, but what I don't clearly get is when you're showing me all that you've got already, what the consultants are needed for. I'm sort of understanding it, I'm not all the way there.
Just to add to that,
Greg?
I just wanna say we're very supportive of the CityWorks project. We're hoping that the data that you gather will allow us to not need so many consultants in the future, that our own engineers can make larger, bigger decisions. And when we do major, infrastructure improvement projects, instead of pulling the shotgun out and changing everything, be more specific. We only need to change these valves or this pipe or this section and save the city money in the long run. So the beginning of all that is the CityWorks project.
And we'll get there. We're still, just getting out of the implementation phase, so we're looking at that process and targeting things a bit more efficiently than using like you say, a shotgun.
Well, thank you for doing this. It's
Yeah,
very
just-
important.
Thank you.
Just seeing this screen and the sophistication that's here is helpful.
Hopefully it was helpful, and if y'all need anything else, let me know.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you, Craig, good work.
All right, thank you.
All right, no more questions for the asset management presentation, and then we're moving to the utility service department updates, water sewer breaks, on item number 5.
I thought OT was next with this capital project. I'll go next.
There is no capital project director on the agenda, but we can let
I'll go
only,
next. No,
if you want, we can talk about the
I
capital
got,
project at the end, under
I got-
general discussion.
I just got we had one water line break on Cordova Road there at the far north end of Cordova Road. A 6-inch line was repaired overnight. And then the 2 or 3 sewer lines, one on the beach having to do, one was a replacement, but the rest of them one was overflow during the blockage for rags. And then the one off of Commercial Boulevard was a grease blockage. And then Hendricks Isle, Los Olas was a suspended line off the bridge, Hendricks Isle Bridge, and we replaced the whole stretch that was exposed on the bridge.
Lot of work.
They didn't know they couldn't throw rags in it?
They'll start with-
Unflashable.
No, they're not.
Maybe why it's,
Great advertisements though.
yeah.
They should be
What
laughing.
was,
Not flash the wipes piece.
the manhole overflow, what caused the overflow?
Restaurants. Which one? The grease, there was a grease ball on commercial, it was rags on
You said the manhole, it was rags from the hotel, they flushed stuff that they shouldn't flush.
yeah,
Clogged the sewer line.
No,
So it backed up.
they get an invoice for that?
unfortunately not.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
How to cut down on that, right?
Isolate the source, why not?
Yeah, we
Had
can't.
to
we
cut
can't
down on the
isolate
education.
Too many other.
Yep.
Residents and restaurants in the area. What was that?
Had to cut down on this only education. Educate from the younger ages.
The manufacturers do a better job advertising.
Yeah.
Employees
There
don't
should
care.
be education in kindergarten. What goes to toilet? It's a 3P rule across utilities. Everybody knows that?
The worst are assisted
Pee,
living
poop and
facilities.
paper, that's it. But they throw toys, they throw everything to the toilets. We know that, so.
That's it.
And the other-
Unfortunately,
and
it goes to our
The other
system.
one was grease, from a grease trap?
It was grease. It was a grease.
Fatberg.
Fat burger. Yes.
Alright, well, good work. Not, congratulations to the team replacing a force main. That's a long stretch. Over the bridge.
Under the bridge.
Under, that's even more difficult, I think.
Off the boat.
At least they don't have to excavate it.
Yes, you're right, Peter. No excavation required, but divers.
No, it was hung off the
No,
bridge.
it's an aerial crossing under the bridge,
Hung off the
I
bridge.
imagine that, but still.
a short little bridge too.
Ah, okay. Well, congratulations.
Still, good work.
Good work, thank you. Next item, number 6, I know everybody's waiting for it, general discussion and comments. And the gentleman left, okay, public, no more public, so board. I may start with the board member, Madeline, she sent the email to all of us today. Was forwarded by the city staff, so I kind of wanna open this to discussion to the staff. Looks like Madeline is asking to place on the agenda item for the next meeting representative from the community development board, I guess, sustainability, I'm not sure. Well,
Program director of what?
CDBD,
Sustainability, maybe?
that's a community development block grant.
Yes, the block grant money, the grant,
So I'm not sure
that
who
is to
is
the
managing
community.
in a city that community development block grant, but there was allocated $13 million for infrastructure projects, and we would like to know how they would be allocated moving forward.
Is that CDBG
Correct,
disaster relief funds you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
yes, the action plan from FEMA.
Okay, that's the HUD, our head of HUD, I wanna say Rachel Williams is the name, but I might be.
Program Director Rachel Williams.
Well, they're just asking to make sure that they're inviting her to the next meeting.
Okay. I know there's a big meeting coming up,
To discuss.
either this week or next week with the CDBGDR funds.
A good topic of discussion for that.
Yes, so we would like to, I guess there's a discussion to the board members, if we wanna have this on the next agenda. Someone from, a program director, Rachel Williams, or her representative, to be present at the next meeting to discuss the CDBG DR action plan from FEMA and
Well,
allocations to
the-
infrastructure.
The key statement, it seems to me, here is
It's
the
11
funds
million.
cannot be
Yes.
for capital budgets,
Yes.
but must be forward-looking to increase resilience. And Marilyn says, for example, someone could partner with other boards like sustainability or parks, use this money for innovative projects to increase water retention by cleaning stormwater before it reaches waterways. So Marilyn's looking at this money for what one might term, I suppose, green initiatives, that help prevent all of the water going into the ground all the time. Something like that.
And perhaps, so I know a little bit about the funding because the bulk of it was going to stormwater at one point, at least we thought. You also have to look at the income in the area. It looks like a lot of the projects we suggested, and maybe this is a good opportunity to look at these other ones that they're suggesting. They didn't reach the income threshold, it was too high. So maybe this is a good opportunity to look at some other areas.
Do you have projects in mind that are not traditional drainage projects, like stormwater gardens or retention ponds? I know they're kind of traditional, but that type of thing that is not directly put an inlet in and let the water run into it. Do you have anything in mind like that? Because that seems to be what Marilyn is suggesting that the money is for or should be concentrated on.
Yeah, I didn't have anything specifically. I mean, what we were looking at were other areas that didn't have funding, because another part of it is if you already had promised any funding or had funding allocated to something, you couldn't go after it. So it had a lot of guidelines. I think it would be good to hear from Rachel.
Okay.
I agree with you, Roberto, thank you. Board members, do we need to vote on this agenda item we can just ask the staff? Okay, so I would ask the staff to coordinate a presence, Rachel Williams, Program Director, or her representative, to be present here at the next meeting, scheduled for June 1st. Oh, nice. To discuss the CDBG DR action plan from FEMA and $88 million allocations. Thank you. All right.
You're perfectly going.
Okay, Peter, next.
So there's an item on tomorrow's agenda to do with the bond for the 45 Fort Lauderdale Phase 2 project. And there are a lot of neighborhoods listed there. And it's a lot of money and a lot of work. So my question is, who's gonna do initially the design work? Whose responsibility is that? And is there the capacity, the capability? Because this is a big program of work.
So it is a big program. The thing is, it's spread out over a bigger time period, over 10 years. Right now we have a annual contract with Hazen, and there's a bunch of engineers that are part of that contract and other engineering firms. So the work kind of gets parsed out throughout the different engineering firms on that contract.
But is it utilities overall in charge? Is it the new capital projects?
All the works,
No, it's Public Works.
we manage it.
Okay.
I'm a little familiar with Fortify Lauderdale.
As a city engineer. Okay, Lindsay and then Ralph.
I'm just curious if the funding would go towards Fortify Fort Lauderdale,
Funding from where?
FEMA.
No.
No, there's already
Okay.
been public funding
That's-
promised for that, so you're not allowed to use it.
You're not allowed. Okay, that's only resilience projects, which fortifies resilience, but you're not allowed to use capital projects that are already in place. Anybody else for this comment? Okay, Ralph, I know you have some discussion. Thank you,
I just
Roberto.
wanted to let everybody know that my email to Commissioner Herbst. It didn't result in his resigning. I just want to get that clear. But there was some discussion about the new water meters. And then I had a number of my folks over in Imperial Point who got high water bills, and they were trying to think it was because of the meters and everything. So I did a little checking around. I looked at my bills and everything and went back and noticed that the water bill had a couple times when I found out this subsequently that the meter readers didn't read the meters in our area. And so when I checked a little bit further, and I noticed that the folks that prepare the billing indicated that there was like 3 times, one last year around in June, and then in November, 2 of them, for last year, and then this year it was January. And then the thing I noticed, and I recognized that my rates were a little, the bill was a little higher, is that they just put that missing meter reading, and when they had the other thing, they applied everything to the next month, as if I used that much water that month, which I didn't. But I got penalized by it because I had been charged a higher rate per usage. So I brought this to the attention of Commissioner Herbst. And in fact, he's got another one of these meetings, virtual meetings. At the last virtual meeting, I brought it up, and
But Ralph, the new rates are effective October 1st, correct? They're in a fiscal year cycle, I believe. So you November and January, and even if you pay in February, you are already affected with
yes,
November.
and you know, it's
So I don't
of course
think you are penalized.
my usage is pretty small compared to other people. I just have a domestic water meter. I don't have a irrigation meter, but I don't even drink the water. I mean, I buy a bottle of water, so it's costing me more, but it's I just don't use that much water for in the house and everything. I know I should do my laundry more frequently.
Ralph, is your concern because after 3,000, it bumps up to a higher rate?
It bumps up to a higher rate, and so by their taking the previous month or months, adding that on there, that's just not fair.
Yeah, I don't know if that's board purview, but yeah, I understand the concern.
So I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention, and I went back and looked, and I didn't see where they had missed the meter reading, and I told Commissioner Herbst that, you know, this needs to be checked out, so that.
Maybe you can provide a credit or something.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
for that difference.
Well, I don't know, you know, by just spreading the word and to see how much of an area was this just up in an Imperial Point area where the water meter people were doing that, or was those months, the meter readers had off.
Yeah, vacation.
You got a new meter, Ralph, right?
Beg pardon?
You have a new meter, or whoever this is.
Yeah, we've got new meters, and that's
It
what
only
brought this all
It goes
along.
from
I had-
9,000 to 11,000.
Yeah, and I had people come to me, and I was trying to understand the problem, what happened. And I did notice that our street was flooded. We had there was only one meter installer. But the road, I mean, our whole street was flooded, but I said, well, it's, you know, what they do is take a reading off the old meter, and supposedly then they start the new meter and go from there, but this is a problem with the folks in the billing that arbitrarily just push previous months unpaid or whatever onto that could possibly push you up into a higher rate.
Yep.
So I just wanna bring this to everybody's attention.
Okay, well, looks like they responded to you last week on Wednesday that
Well, they didn't get back to me.
they is into investigation,
They never
right?
got back to me, Herbst didn't get back, but I
April
will,
29?
I'll be there on his virtual meeting tonight, and just ask him what's he gonna do about it.
Well, keep us posted if there's any credit apply or not.
You have to fill out a form.
Beg pardon?
Anybody else?
You should take the public.
Public,
Public.
yes. We have 5 minutes, okay, public comments, we have one gentleman in the room.
Oh, I think that you answered it, I went up there to talk to you.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't,
Oh, can I say something on what he was saying about the water meters?
can you say your name and
Oh,
where you live?
Yes, Ray Jordan, Dilla Park Homeowners Association President.
Ray Jordan.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Alright.
You know, I get your information a lot. So today I seen the infrastructure meeting, so I decided to come in and that gentleman, he's at every meeting, all over everywhere. How you doing, bro?
Sure he is.
I'm doing good.
But I would like to know, like, I'm just, learning a lot of things here, coming in, and then trying to find out, how things work. But like he was saying about his water meter, I was getting like $130, $140 meter, like around that range. So, I mentioned it, and then like this month I got an $83 meter reading. Somebody wasn't reading the meter. So what about this dicky thing that's coming out? Anybody know about that dicky thing?
You wait till next month.
Anybody know about this dicky thing that's coming out? They're
No.
gonna put new reading meters
Let
up?
me give you this is
Oh,
what
then you
shows the
Yes, we discussed the MAI last meeting, I believe, and there's good information on the city website, I would say.
Put us at the next billing period.
Wow.
That's.
So the new meter replacement project is good information on the city website. There's a good information if you need anything particular, you're welcome to come next.
As he was saying, I don't think that they read the meter because it's like a 130, 140 like that. And then when I told him, then it got like, okay, now it's $80 or something. So we don't use that much water for it to be no 140.
Well, there's the two major things affected. Obviously you may have a new meter installed, which is more accurate meter. So now you actually capture all the drops of the water. And number two, there was also rate increase.
And it
So
brings
they
up,
both kind of happen at the same time, you may see that as a big difference in your
It
water.
went down.
okay,
Because I told him it went down.
Oh, went down?
Went down like
Good for you.
$50, $60. That's what I was saying. He was right because of what else I told him about
Good
it.
for you, you have a more accurate meter. Okay.
that's where they applied our money.
Yes. Hold on 1 second, everybody, the meeting is not adjourned.
Wait.
So just so everybody's aware, at tomorrow's commission meeting, there's gonna, a conference, there's gonna be a discussion item regarding the Melrose and Riverland fortified Lauderdale projects. The city, they received two unsolicited proposals, one from Mancon and one from DMSI, David Mancini and Sons. Splitting the project into two, so there's a discussion for that to see if the city commission would like to proceed with accepting those two unsolicited proposals, or if they would like us to proceed with the design bid build. So just be aware of that, that's in the books, that's something that has happened literally in the last month.
Is that for the water,
No, this is for stormwater,
stormwater replacements?
Well, that's
so
right.
this is the last project of the phase one,
Okay.
well, one of the last two projects of the phase one.
That strikes me as unusual, and you get unsolicited proposal for things like City Hall and, entertainment district or something.
Correct.
But a regular sewer project, is it because they know that this work is upcoming and they've been working there, so they have expertise or knowledge of the area already?
There's different variables, and there was an LTC that was shared with the city commission in January, with those two proposals. There are certain criteria that they have put in there, one of them being that they're guaranteed a maximum price and also a timeline of when the project would be delivered.
And those projects are funded, correct?
Correct, those are
So that's
funded
important to
projects.
spend the money in 3 years, 3 years to
So
have a time
that
to
project would be
design.
funded once we get this new bond now in the summer. That would be one of the projects will go into construction is that one. The other one is Southeast Isles, and then to begin design of the first three projects of phase two. So just wanted to let you guys know that will be discussed, and there may be some commission action that may take
But
place.
even if they want to do that,
That's
right,
fine.
under the process, they're still gonna have to advertise it for a month or something, so that everybody
So-
else could.
Depending on the direction that the city commission would like to go in, staff's recommendation is to do a competitive period of the bare minimum, which is 21 days. So that is staff's recommendation, whether the city commission takes that recommendation or not, we'll see what happens. So there's two alternatives that they can do. They could either proceed to move forward with the two unsolicited, which would require two readings, two public meetings. And then they could accept what was recommended or what was proposed. Or they could have a competitive period in which other entities or other contractors can also submit a similar proposal, unsolicited proposal.
But then you have to do the criteria package.
Correct.
From the design build.
Appreciate the heads up on that.
Okay, well, we will tune in all tomorrow.
Yeah.
Alright, 4:01, meeting adjourned. I see you everybody in June 1st. Thank you.
Hey Roosevelt, in the spirit of